quick update on what's happening. So tomorrow we are going to sign an agreement to rent a property for 2 years. It's a high risk strategy basically because although we applied for our visa to stay here, we won't know until October if we've got it, and obviously we're signing now. But the fact is that we have to leave the property we're in during the end of this month, so we need to have somewhere to go. And if we don't take a property, we've got to put the stuff in storage, and we put the stuff in storage and then get a property. It's kind of like moving everything twice, which will cost us a lot. So we're going to take the financial risk. It's far away from where we are. We are in a place called Tamanmolek, and the place we're going to is right over the side of the city. It's probably 45-minute drive. It's in an area called Iskandar Puteri. Oh, actually it's not. I think it's called somewhere Iskandar where we're going. So we're moving across to a much smaller house, but a much more brand new, basically, estate. And on that estate we have, not far from, within walking distance of where we live. It's only a small, it's not a big estate. Don't go thinking like millions of miles. It's a small estate. It's a gated community, but unlike this one, which is a gated community, but all the properties have gates on them as well, and all the windows in the house have bars as well. Where we're moving to, it's a gated community, but the company that built the properties provide the security as well, as opposed to letting it out to a third party. So I guess they're in charge of covering everything. So there's no gates on the properties. We're also moving into I think it's a semi-detached house. It's a semi-detached house, but it's a huge house, you don't really notice. I think it's much more semi-detached house. This is this is a 3-bed, but that's a much smaller 3-bed. But again, we need to downsize. We cart around so much. We're packing at the moment, and it's just like the local charities are going to benefit. We are terrible consumers, that's for sure. Anyway, back to the point. Tomorrow we're going to sign a rental agreement on a property, which will see us move across the other side of the city into a much smaller house. We've done this, haven't we? With a swimming pool. Beautiful, beautiful swimming pool. That's what we've missed from the apartment. When we had the apartment, we had a swimming pool. I barely used it, the family loved it. So, beautiful swimming pool. Also a gym, also we'll buy a massive lake so we can walk around the lake. So it's kind of like the park we've got here, but actually almost within the community we're in. There is a big, what they call clubhouse, which is a beautiful big room, which I probably would do vlogs from, because it's this massive high ceilinged room and it's lovely air conditioned, and well, the place is new and it's looking good and people aren't using it. I can get in there and do things. Also, there is a small mall, not a huge shopping mall, but it's got a supermarket in it, and it's got a Starbucks, and it's got food options, and plus there's lots of shop houses nearby as well. So I'm actually very excited. As I said, this house is a lot smaller, but realistically, the only rooms I use in the house are my office, which is this room we're in now, and it will be smaller because the room I'm getting is what they call the maid's room in Malaysia, and the maids in Malaysia and Singapore basically get treated like their pets. They get put in the tiniest hole in the house. It's a horrible thing to say, but I'm sorry, it's true. We don't get maid rooms built in the UK because we don't have maids, first of all. But secondly, even if we did, it would be like a normal sized bedroom with a bathroom. It wouldn't be like a hovel, which is what they built here. So my room is going to be what would have been the maid's room. And actually, this is the other thing. In the UK, if you were living in a small 3-bedroom terrace property or semi-detached property, you wouldn't have a maid. Here it's a thing. That's again going off topic. But that's where we are. Our life is changing. We are still not sure where we're going to be living. There's no way we're going to get a permanent residency into Malaysia. So really we have to still be gaming the system, if you like. I think it's sad that we have to kind of do this, but all countries operate the same sort of situation, so why shouldn't Malaysia? However, if you look at us as people living in the country. We've been here now 10 years. I've brought in, I estimated the other day, somewhere between £250,000 and £300,000 in the last 10 years. Okay, we will run out of money eventually, but you know, if we run out of money, we're not going to go to Malaysia and say, oh, you have to support us now, because that doesn't happen. They're not going to support us, and we don't expect them to. We're here because of my wife's health, quite simply. She has had major health issues, and since we arrived in this country, her health has just been on the improve year after year after year. It's fabulous. She has to have a pacemaker change within the next 1 to 3 years, so that's still to be done. And to be honest, if we've got to have it done anywhere, this is as good as anywhere. She's had it done here before, and the doctors and hospitals are very, very good. So, yeah, we want to stay here. We love it here. My daughter and granddaughter love it here. So, you know, it is what it is. This is the way we find the situation we find our life in. We still have options, you know, if it comes down to it. Brunei, possibly. I hear stories that it's fairly easy to cross backs and forwards into Brunei. And we liked Brunei a lot. If you've seen the video series of me in Brunei, I really liked Brunei. However, my daughter, who's younger than me, obviously my granddaughter, who's much younger than me, they're going to find it pretty boring. My wife and myself will probably enjoy ourselves. And then obviously there is Thailand. Thailand is attached to us by land, so we can cross the land border, and then that way hopefully we can move all our furniture and stuff with us. We can't take our cars because the import duty on cars from Malaysia to Thailand is ridiculous. So obviously we'd have the expense of losing the cars here and trying to buy something over there. So there's no easy way to do it. And don't say, well, go back to England then. You don't want to. Okay, I don't want to. I don't want to go back to England. I don't like the weather. I don't like the darkness. I don't like the cold. The country's in a shit mess at the moment anyway, and we're happier where we are. That's, you know, everyone has their own choices. A lot of people I know. I mean, I love England. I love lots of parts of England, but I don't want to live there. Okay. Everyone has their own choices. People choose to move from Malaysia to England. People choose to move from England to Malaysia. Let's do a sort of swapsies. If a family moves from Malaysia to England, let the English family move to Malaysia and stay there. Thank you. Alright, anyway, I'm going to go shopping. I'll take you with me. In homage to Vera Fry, I'm vlogging while sitting in my car. Oh my god! Splendid mango with pearls, that's these black things. Oh my god, brain freeze. Oh, that really hurts. You know, I was here for about 4 or 5 years before I tried my first pearls. I was wondering what the hell those weird black things were, and this is back in the days, not so long ago. I'm only 58 now. When I wasn't quite so brave to try things, so I didn't get the joy, the beauty of pearls for a long time. Much like my journey with wasabi, hated it, but it was okay. Now I just fucking crave it. Oh my god, that's good. So back to it. So yes, I've done some shopping. Got some boxes I can chuck stuff in. Plastic ones as opposed to cover ones, because I'm going to have less room in the new house, so I need some storage space as well. One of the things I've learned throughout life, my first house as a married man was a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. A place called Dartmouth. Hadn't been lived in for 37 years. It'd been a holiday home for people, but it hadn't really been lived in, so well, this house that seriously needed like help. Kitchen floor was rotten. There was no real kitchen set up as such, apart from a sink. Based on 2 Americans. Lying in bed our first night of living in there, and the ceiling fell on our bed. Anyway, it's a 3-bed house. Definitely big enough for 2 people. And we moved from there to a 4-bed house. And a few years later we were living in a 7-bed and then a 9-bed. And a 5-bed, sorry. And we went to a 9-bed, then went back down to a 7-bed. And one thing I've found is, doesn't matter how many bedrooms you got, how big the house is, you fill the available space. So going the other way now and sort of downgrading, downsizing, to me is great, because it's so easy to collect crap. We're trying not to do that now. We're trying to get small, get less. Now, obviously, especially when you're sort of nomadic. I mean, we're not nomadic in as much as we want to be, but potentially we could be moving again at any time. So the less stuff we have to cut around, less stuff we got to worry about. And the less room we got, the less new stuff we can buy, which means less stuff to get rid of. Anyway, let's go home. We're talking rubbish now.